Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. My name is Adrielle, and I am currently telling a story of my life dating back from January 2016. Previous episode, I spoke about the month of March 2018, and in this episode, I'm just going to talk about the month of April. So, here it goes. April 2018. April 2018. So, this is like the last month of classes. I finished classes as far as my schedule was concerned. April 18th. Yeah, April 18th was when I was done with classes. So it's April 1st. I'm excited for the semester coming to an end very soon. Around this time, I get a text from Ruth telling me that she wants to invite me to her birthday brunch. I'm like, oh, sure, like definitely I'll go. And she said she would come and pick me up because she knows I don't have a car. Great. April 7th was the day of the birthday brunch. She comes to Brownstone to pick me up, and we go to the brunch. Go to the brunch. I meet her friends as well. Esther is not at the brunch. She had some other obligations, so she wasn't there. Anyways, after the brunch, we go to Top Golf. As Ruth is driving me to Top Golf, or driving us, I don't know what happened, but Crystal's name came up. Crystal's name came up, and she said this to me. Oh, I should have invited Crystal. So apparently, Crystal and Ruth were, forming a camaraderie, becoming friends. She's like, oh, I forgot to invite Crystal. She's like, have you spoken to Crystal? And I was like, no, but this is someone you talk to every day. How do you not talk to her every day? I just met you. So I'm like, yo, what is up with Crystal? Like, listen, if you have a problem with the kid, come and tell her. Stop going to people who can't help you with the situation. If you want to know what's going on with me, why I haven't called, reach out to me. Okay? It's quite weird. So yeah, anyways, we go to Top Golf, have an amazing time, come back home. April 18th was my econometrics final, and I did what I did. After the final, the day after, I fly back to New Jersey. And the reason why I fly back to New Jersey is because of the retreat. The retreat was from Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We head back to church. So Thursday, April 19th, fly back to New Jersey. I see my parents. I see my brothers. I see my aunt who was visiting at the time. Around 7 p.m., me and my mom, we head out to attend midweek service, and that's usually where everybody's going to meet up before we get on the bus and drive to the retreat. So go to midweek service, have all my luggage. Midweek service ends, get into the bus, and I'm excited that I am going on this retreat. Now, the retreat was located in Delaware. So it was like probably like a 2 hour journey, 2 to 3 hour journey. Drive to Delaware. And fortunately for me, I was rooming with one of the girls who I became friends with the year before and her friend. So it was all just good. The next day was April 20th, and that's really when the retreat starts. April 20th, we have our morning sessions where it's like teachings and just like a service basically in the morning. And, we have breakfast and stuff like that. Now, here's the thing. I flew to the retreat. I flew to New Jersey to attend the retreat, but coming back to Atlanta, I had finals. I had finals on I had two finals on April 24th, and that was the end of the semester for me. So even though I went to the retreat, I was still studying. I was like, I'm gonna get my me time to study. I have two finals left when I come back. I gotta study. But for me, it was really important for me to come to this retreat because I loved it the year before. So April 20th, we have all the morning sessions, lunch, and everything. So there's a particular session in the afternoon. It's two. You got to choose one. One is about just like a teaching going on, a teaching class. And the other one, I wasn't sure what it was. All I knew was back in April 2017, that second session ran for hours. Like there were people on the floor crying. And I told myself I didn't want to go to that session because I need to study. I really didn't know what was going on. But I said that I'm not going because I need to study and I can't be in a session for hours. I got things to do. So I'm in the room with the girls talking, 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 talking. The session's already started. I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to leave. So as I was leaving, I thought to myself, I don't even know the rooms of the sessions. So I said, you know what? I'm going to just go to the first room I see. So I'm walking and I see a room with people in it and I just walk in. I walk in, I sit at the back, and it's a couple and they happen to be prophets. So they're there and they're saying, is there anyone in here who works with data? I'm just there looking for the person who works with data. And I thought to myself, like, I work with data, and, with my program, but it's not a 9 to 5 job. Like, I just work with it as far as my program is concerned. I kept on saying, is this somebody that works with data? And I'm looking for this person too. I'm like, I know they're not talking to me because I don't have a 9 to 5. I work with data, but not on a job. So they went and said, hey, is there someone here who has such and such? And then somebody stood up. Is there someone here who such and such? And then someone stood up. And he said, is there somebody here that works with data? And now I'm kind of like getting this sense like, yo, I think they're talking about me. But I don't work with data on a job. I work with data in my graduate program. And then they said, hey, if you know we're referring to you, come now. Don't wait until the end. I said, I feel like they're talking about me, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to say anything. So after that ended, they said we should all come to the front and they're going to pray for all of us. So we all came into like a circle and they were praying for us and they're going to pray for us. So the husband and the wife, they were going one by one within the circle. Now there were some people, they spent like 20 minutes with them. I was like, come on, y'all. So they were spending like a lot of time with people. And as they were praying over each person one by one, worship music was playing in the background. And I was just standing there, just praying because everybody was in the mode of prayer. I'm just thinking, I think they were talking about me with the data. I think they're talking about me with the data. So probably like an hour after, it had to be over an hour after. That's when it came to my side. Her and her husband were approaching my side, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna tell the wife that the data person, that's me. So I go to her. I said, excuse me, you were asking if someone worked with data. I'm that person. She was like, why didn't you say anything? I was like, I wasn't sure. And then she said, okay. And this is what she says. She says, you're going to piece things together and help people come up with solutions and solve problems. And I was like, okay, sounds interesting. And it sounds really in my ballpark because I wanted to be an analyst after I graduated from grad school, and analysts are into problem solving. So for me, that was confirmation that after I graduate, I am going to be a data analyst or some type of analyst. So I was like, okay, that's I like that word, you know. So her husband gets to me. Her husband gets to me. He starts praying over me. He prays over my head, and this is what he says. He says, "Buckle up. You are about to get on a wild ride." And I'm like, God, what is this? I was not happy when I heard that word because I felt like I was already going through a lot. Like I was just coming out of what I went through the previous semester. I'm trying to get it right this semester. I was having anxiety, friendship situations. It's like, yo, how much more am I going to go through? And even previously before that, I was in the wilderness season in New Jersey. So it's like, yo, how much more am I going to go through? I was not happy with the word. So I'm like, yo, God, where are you taking me to? So he says, yeah, buckle up. You're about to be on a wild ride. And then I forgot what else he said after that because I didn't like the word. And then he gets my right palm, he presses it and he prays over it. thought that was, weird and interesting at the same time. So I was like, okay, that's the word. That was the prophetic word that I received. The next day, we have another session, and with a pastor, and this pastor came the previous year before. He does a teaching, and at the end, he breaks out in prayer, praying over people. After he taught, we all break out in prayer. We're all praying. He's going to specific people and praying over them. So me, I have my eyes closed, just praying. The next thing you know, I feel him touching my head like this. He's touching my head like this, and he's praying over my head. He's praying over my head. Then he gets my palm. He prays over my palm, just like the other guy. And I'm like, yo, what's up with this whole palm thing? Like they're praying over my palm. I don't know what's going on. But I just thought it was very interesting that he prayed over my mind. I just thought that was very interesting. Was really the highlights of my retreat of what I got from it. So the next day, which was April 22nd, we go back to New Jersey, and after that I fly back to Atlanta. That same day I fly back to Atlanta, come back, and I am studying. I was not able to get that much studying going on when I was at the retreat. But once I got back, I just started studying. I barely slept on the 22nd and the 23rd. I probably got like 3 to 4 hours of sleep. Anyways, I studied. 24th was my final. Studied as much as I could. Wrote everything I wrote. And that was the end of my spring semester. After I finished my last final, I get back into my apartment. I'm like, yo, I'm free for the semester. Yay. And I'm laying on the couch. Laying on the couch, watching TV. I get a FaceTime call from Melissa. I'm like, hey Melissa, what's going on? Even though y'all get on my nerves. Okay. But I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she was like, hey, that I wanted to ask you something. She tells me her apartment is doing a sublease. Currently, she's staying in a 2 bedroom apartment, and she can sublease her room so 2 people can sleep in her room. So she was like, I wanted to reach out to you to know if you were down with something like that. Like maybe both of us can live in a room, and so we can like split the cost. And I was like, yeah, sure. Now, really, no. Really, no. But she invited me to see her apartment. So I was like, okay, I'll go. She was like, okay, yeah, like we can set that up on the 26th for you to come and see the apartment if you're interested. Now, at this time, I was not going to renew my lease with Brownstone. The plan for me was to live in Brownstone for 1 year, and after that, kind of find like my permanent home in Atlanta. At this time, I'm looking, looking, looking. I can't find anything. So when she brought the idea of the whole sublease, I just entertained it out of courtesy, but I knew that the goal was for me to find my permanent home in Atlanta. So I said, okay, I will just go and see her apartment. The day comes for me to see her apartment. It was not actually the 26th, it was the 25th. Go to her apartment on the 25th, which was the next day. I see her apartment. She's like, "Do you like it?" I was like, "Yeah," but I still don't tell her that I'm actually looking for a permanent home in Atlanta. So she's like, "Hey, just let me know whenever you want to, finalize anything." I'm like, "Okay, sure." Still haven't told her, whatever situation I got going on. The next day, April 26th, my mom and my aunt fly to Atlanta to actually really to come and see the city. They come to Brownstone, stay in Brownstone for a day, and stay with my aunt's friend afterwards. But the day that my aunt and my mom came, my mom said, "Oh my goodness, you're done with the semester?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "That was so quick." I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "So what are you doing afterwards?" And I tell her I register for summer classes because y'all already listen. I already said I'm registering for summer classes, right? Because I'm trying to get this whole academic probation out the way. So I said I register. I said I register for summer classes, and that starts June. I think like the week of June 16th. That's when it starts. And she was like, "Wow, you have so much free time." I was like, yeah. She's like, why don't you just come back home? She's like, yeah, like check the prices of the tickets. I can buy you a ticket for you to come back home. She's like, I didn't know you were done. Like you have so much free time. Like come back home. I was like, okay, cool. I will come back home. So I tell her that Play Cousin is coming to Atlanta in May. So after she leaves, that should be the best time for me to come back to New Jersey. So I get a ticket to fly back to New Jersey May 15th. Yeah, so that's really what happened in the month of April. So, month of April, I am done with schoolwork. I went to the retreat, got a prophetic word that I don't understand and kind of wasn't low key happy about because I'm like, God, where are you taking me? Finished with my semester. Also, another thing I wanted to mention in the month of April, March and April, I was away from social media because I was observing Lent. I get back on Instagram. I noticed that Crystal had unfollowed me on Instagram. She also had unfollowed me on YouVersion Bible app. Like, really? Who does that? So I was like, oh, okay. Like, she feels some type of way. Now, typically, when I'm not friends with someone, I don't go on an unfollow spree because it's not that deep. But I'm like, okay, she's pressed. I have her pressed. So let me do her a favor by unfollowing her on all the other platforms. So I unfollowed her on Facebook. I unconnected with her on LinkedIn. And she also unfollowed me on Snapchat too. That was another thing I noticed. So I was like, yeah, if you want to do unfollow sprees, listen, I'll match you. We'll match together, okay? So that was what happened in April. In the month of May, y'all, things get interesting. Things get interesting, and I am about to record that episode right now. So, thank you guys for tuning into an unlikely story. Follow me on social media, like my videos, subscribe, comment, share it as well. And until next time,